The US the US dollar has to be backed up and show proof of work. Because of this, if the US dollar or the US Federal Reserve Bank begins to put in Bitcoin into their treasury, what will happen is that they will speed up the decentralized process. And of course, they don't want to be decentralized because they don't want to lose control of living on your sweat equity or commercial energy. But under the banking guidelines, they're going to have to show proof of work for printing their money, which means the US, that is, has so much gold reserves, all of that will have to be backed to show that they actually have proof of work to print off the US dollars, as well as the Central Reserve banks all over the world. What that simply means is that since the gold is now backing up, or the silver is backing up their currency printing, as opposed to you securitizing, that means, sorry about using this word meaning all the time, is that the gold itself will return back to the people, because when you hold that banknote, that US dollar that has proof of work, i.e. backed up by the mineral, whether that's oil, gold, or silver, the gold is in your hands because you're holding the gold certificate, we call the US dollar, that is backed up by gold. And the US has more gold than any country in the world. You know, I know you folks think that, Russia, China hold like their second place, but you've got to understand what second place is compared to the US gold reserves. They're like not 1 or 2 times greater, they're like 5, 6 times greater. For every ounce China or Russia holds, the US holds like 12 or 13 times more. I forgot what the figures are, but they're extraordinary if you saw it in a chart. So if it's a bar chart, US dollar, US gold reserves will be this high. And in second place, China, India, and Russia will be something like that. Yeah, it's a huge difference. So what I'm saying to you is that by 2030, every country in the world has to show proof of work. If they don't show proof of work, then they have no value to their currency, what they call worthless paper. The paper itself is worth more than the money it's printed on. Yeah. Whether you like it or not, for the privateers, they have to show proof of work. So the Federal Reserve has been engineered and put into a place of whether it's a hard place, it's back of a rock, or a hard place. It's out of the frying pan into the fire. They got nowhere else to go. Do you see why the petroleum industry is being destroyed? Why the truckers have been bought out? It's all engineered. It's because all that industry is going to be replaced by battery car lorries, autonomous, that run on batteries, not diesel. And the lorry drivers will not become unemployed. They will service that industry because they got the skills. You see, the governments and the decentralizations or centralizations will make you believe that you're going to become jobless. No, when a new technology takes place, it actually creates a whole heap of new other jobs. Look at the statistics. Just on the back of DeFi, or on the back of Bitcoin, or on the back of internet and computers, it causes an explosion of new industries. And those people that are already in the field just simply move into it. Lorry drivers moving into the world of autonomous lorries running on battery, as opposed to themselves driving it. And the industry that supports and the skills that it supports, because The vehicle still needs a co-pilot, but the co-pilot doesn't need to be in the cabin. You understand what I'm saying? Before, in aeroplanes, there used to be 3 people. The captain, the co-pilot, and the navigator. The navigator was replaced by a computer, so there's only 2 now. The 4th generation is that the captain does not need to be in the vessel that is in. It can be done remotely, like picking up a phone and having a chat with the other person at the end. Yes, an autonomous vehicle is considered a person. You understand what I'm saying, where this is going to go, okay? If I haven't made it clear, let me make it clear again. The US dollar has to show proof of work. That's what the banking rules are now. If they buy into Bitcoin, they're going to lose control even quicker. So they're staying out of it. But they have a lot of gold, and they don't want to give it up. The privateers don't want to give up that gold because that's theirs, called the treasury. They rather print money on the back of that without actually securitizing it on the back of the gold. All that's coming to an end. So when the US dollar has to show proof of work, they have to use the gold that's in reserve. Think about it. Yeah. And that is also the means of decentralization. Because once that note is printed on the back of that, on the back of the gold, whether it's in digital format or in actual physical print, anybody holding that certificate of gold-backed money is in their pocket, and it can be given to anybody else in exchange for something else. So the certificate of gold-backed will be transferring independent of the Federal Reserve Bank. So it's like me giving you £5, which is £5 silver sterling, as a certificate note called a Bank of England note, and giving it to you. And that's proof of transfer because you've got it and not me. And because it's backed by silver, it has the value of the silver, actual mineral. I think you get it. They don't explain these things because if you understood it, you would understand what's going to come next is that the US dollar is not exactly going to become extinct. What is going to happen is that it will show itself for what its true market value is without the guns. Because what creates the inflationary US dollar money value is the guns that back it up. i.e. telling you, we don't care what you think the value of this dollar is. We're going to tell you. We're going to tell you it's worth 1 barrel of oil. We don't care. If you dispute it, we'll blow you out of the water. We'll put a bullet in your head. All that's going to go. So the US dollar will show its true market value in the next coming few weeks. I think you guys understand it. My estimate was it's 25 cents on the dollar. That's actually its true market value without the guns. I think I've given you the analogy and the insights into it. You've got to ask yourself, why isn't anybody else speaking about this? Why isn't anybody else explaining this? Could it be that I'm just kind of lying to you? You can cross-reference it by doing some research. Remember, I'm subject to penalty of perjury on a level playing field. So I'm not beneath you and I'm not higher than you. I'm on a level playing field, eye to eye. Okay? Look, do you remember I spoke to you about the live cam that's rigged up all over the world? This is part of the decentralization. So when the BBC reports that there was gunfire happening live now, there and then, just go to that city that they're talking about, use one of the live cams, I've forgotten the bloody name of it, but they're called live cams. You can get them on YouTube. You can look it up on Google. And it will show you even the goddamn reporter making believe that there is a war going on. There are millions of these cameras everywhere, double checking that allows you to cross-reference what the BBC is broadcasting or any one of these fiction things. Once you figured out the magnitude of the lies that they have to tell you to have faith, misguided faith on the US dollar, is what it's about, and the ability for them to sell you mortgages and mortgages and mortgages. That's why the mass media is 99.99% liars. They have to keep you in that lie in order for them to keep selling you the money, selling you the mortgages. 99% of university education is the education of a lie. Marxism, the psychologists, especially those ones that pretended to go to concentration camps and have a finding, are all rigging you up for failure. They're all liars. Freud, Jung, all of them, they're liars. They're all there to get you to believe that you are a person, you have a persona, you have an alternative character, anything so you don't ever realize, my God, I'm a man and I'm autonomous. Yeah. That's why the universities will sell you characters like Darwin. They are complete bums. They made it all up. You know, I told you about the dinosaurs. I can't find a goddamn one man, one woman. I see a lot of pseudonyms that they're saying that they have found dinosaur bones. They're pseudonyms. Make-believe names. Not one actually put their name to it. The whole goddamn thing is a lie. You have Nietzsche, you know, as a kind of a hero of psychology and inner works, as it were. The man is supposed to have been, you know, in love with his sister and spent 20 years of his life in madness in a wheelchair, refusing to open his eyes to the world. So his sister can look after him, including wipe his backside. Are you sure that you really want these people as heroes in your life? Once you grasp the magnitude of the lie, oh my.